WNST, Tace boos a call for unity and prayer, and then the football team goes on to the field and lays a smelly turd against its division rival. Ravens licking lots of wounds, lots of questions to be asked both on and off the field throughout our community here this week as the Ravens head to Oakland, where we're assuming that Derek Carr will probably play this week, but certainly at 2-2 right now. Rough times there. We've also got the baseball playoffs all weekend long. Luke Jones and I will be discussing those on a daily basis, as well as tweeting and opining out on our social media. This guy tweets and opines about college basketball as well as the world of golf. He is our pal from Compass Point. He does golf sales for a living down there in funky Pasadena. You can follow his journey out on Twitter at Buckets and Birds. He is a weekly contributor here to WNST.net in the golf space, but also for college basketball coming up soon, and even watching some college football from time to time. We welcome Robert Kennedy back on at Buckets and Birds on Twitter. And certainly big golf weekend, right? When the leader of the free world shows up on the golf course. And certainly a big weekend for the U.S., who, as expected, won quite handily up in Jersey City, right?
Yeah, Nestor, it went as expected. As we talked about last week, the U.S. was going to be a heavy favorite and everything, and pretty much just blitzed the first 3 days of the tournament and almost, believe it or not, clinched it Saturday night. It came down to the last match that the U.S. had a chance to win, and if they had won that match, they would have clinched it on Saturday night. They wouldn't have handed out the trophy or popped the champagne then, but so it made Sunday very anticlimactic. And even though there were a few European fans that showed up holding 12-0 signs and everything, hoping for a miracle, that would have been like maybe hoping for Stevenson University to beat Alabama. I think the odds would have been about the same, So, and then you mentioned the president. Yeah, Trump made an appearance. He was the first actual sitting president to attend a President's Cup, oddly enough. It's usually the past presidents that are always there representing, and they were there as well. Phil took his selfie with Obama and Bush and Clinton, and then the Donald was there on Saturday to hand out a trophy and be seen, of course, or on Sunday, I should say. So.
Yeah, the people of Puerto Rico salute him for that. He is Robert Kennedy, Buckets and Birds, joining us here from Twitter. The Buckets and Birds part of this, the golf thing's sort of kind of like over now, right, from a viewing perspective. But this is when so many folks come down to Pasadena want to play. I know a lot of the people that were in protest of the Ravens were looking for a golf course, and I would think that given the good weather that we've had around here, this is the time of the year, I think, when players like to play the most, right?
Absolutely. It's my favorite time of year to play in the fall. And, yeah, you're right. This the President's Cup was the kind of the period on the season for the 2016-17 season. They'll begin next year, actually this week, oddly enough, with the tournament out in Napa Valley, and they'll have a few odd tournaments here and there. The official season begins, like I said, this week. And between now and the middle of December, there'll be like 8 tournaments. So there's really only 1 or 2 big ones in there where you'll see some of the familiar names. Most of them are smaller tournaments, either overseas or in Jackson, Mississippi, places like that, where some of the rookies hope to get off to a good start and earn enough points to, kind of maybe secure their card for next year or get on the Ryder Cup and everything. But, yeah, as far as the playing goes, still a great month of good weather here in October. The fall is usually the best time of year. As far as I was down in Jacksonville, Florida, this past week on a trip where we played in 93-degree weather and 94% humidity. So coming back to this 60, 70 degrees was a welcome relief. So yeah, we've got a couple big things going on. We've got our craft beer open that we'll be sponsoring on the 21st, which is filling up nicely, which is good to see. So still a chance for people to get on compasspointgolf.com and get involved with that, or give us a call. And some night golf on the last Saturday of October, where you get to have come in your festive costume, play some night golf, and again have more adult beverages. So yes, a lot of good times too.
Craft beers, nothing better than craft beer out on the golf course here this time. I'm seeing a pumpkin ale in my future out there. Robert Kennedy is our guest. He's Buckets and Birds out on Twitter. That is obviously the birds out on the golf course, but the buckets. Hey man, we're close to basketball season, and I spent a few hours over on the Coppin State campus. We are proudly announcing our partnership with Coppin State this year. We're going to be broadcasting their games, as well as I'll be talking to Juan Dixon, as well as other Coppin coaches from other parts of their program here in the fall and getting into the winter this year. So we're excited about that, and I know you're excited about it too because you love small college basketball, and that's the engine that sort of draws you to sports. It's your passion, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right where the buckets comes in, and the small colleges here in Maryland, which is pretty much what they're suited up of, other than the big school down in College Park, but lots of great basketball in the greater Baltimore area here. And Coppin's got a really good thing going on there. I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with Dixon as coach there. And they have a beautiful facility as it is. It opened 3 or 4 years ago, basically built by the same people that built the CQ at Towson. So it's a much smaller version of that. I've been to it 2 or 3 times, and it's a great venue to watch.
It's a beautiful gym, isn't it? I mean,
it really is.
If people don't know about it, I'll be doing some Facebook Live over there. We're going to be doing a swabbing over there for There Goes My Hero as well during the season. But, there's a lot to offer amongst all of these schools. I think when you go to Morgan's gym, I always love the rack over at UMBC, and I know they're redoing that. But Coppin has, a gem over there, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've, like I said, been to it a few times, and it's not a bad seat in the house, and it's relatively easy to get to and get out of, and just really looking forward to that this year. And along those lines, looking forward to the area. There'll be an event later in October for the media that I'll be attending. I think it's in the middle of October that Towson is hosting, and I think this is great, and I think it's well overdue. It's called the Baltimore Media Day. So many of the schools have a media day where you come out and you just see that team and that coach and the players, and to get around to all those, there's just usually not enough time in the schedule. So, but Towson's hosting one with all the local schools. UMBC will be there, coming off the great year they had and promoting their new arena, which is, I can't wait to see that, along with Loyola and Coppin and Morgan and of course Towson. So it'll be a full day of getting to talk to all the coaches and kind of really get a good feel for what they're looking forward to in the coming season. And I think it's 38 days away or something from tip off. Tips off a little earlier this year, November 10th, I think, for most people.
Well, we're now officially into October, so all the Moonlight Madness stuff's going on this month. So we really are on the front end of all of this. I mean, all the coaches. Juan looked pretty busy over at Coppin last week.
Absolutely, yeah. I had reached out to UMBC to try to get a hold of Coach there and Coach Odom there, and his schedule was packed, and we just couldn't arrange the time. But so I'll definitely be talking to him soon, and of course Pat Scarry, who I've worked with for years at Towson. They've got a big year coming up, so it's my favorite time of year. I love my golf, love that and everything, but the 2 seasons really dovetail nicely for me. That's what I've told people. As far as one ends, the other begins, and then the spring it's. We wrap it up with March Madness, followed right after the Masters. So, it's couldn't work out better for my sake.
Robert Kennedy is Buckets and Birds out on Twitter as well as at Compass Point. He joins us weekly to discuss golf and whatever is on his mind. And I have a feeling we'll be talking a lot of college basketball here in the coming weeks as well. You can follow him there. Tell everybody how to find you down at Compass Point and all the stuff you guys do out online, as well as your night golf and your craft brews.
Yeah, the Compass Point Golf. .com, and that's point with an E on the end, compasspointgolf.com. You can log on, you can make tee times, find out if any events are on there. Our Facebook page is awesome as well. They do, our general manager does a really good job with that. Again, Compass Point Golf under Facebook. There's a Compass Point in North Carolina, so just make sure you're clicking on the one up here in Maryland. And, again, lots of, he throws out contests on there where he gives away some good prizes, golf equipment, free rounds of golf, and, of course, updates with anything coming out. So, just like everyone nowadays, different forms of media to stay in touch with us and connect with us. And, you can sign up for our text alerts on our website as well. So all the good stuff, lots of good golf weather left this year. So.
Always great to have you on. He is Robert Kennedy. Buckets and Birds out on Twitter is the way to find him, as well as down at Compass Point. And probably if you're at a local college basketball game, you're like, hey, that looks like Kennedy. Probably is. You can find me out in the Bahia Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day. From anywhere in the world, we've complained plenty about the Baltimore Ravens this week, and we shall. Luke will be on the backfields out in Owings Mills. We're trying to figure out how the engine is going to go forward out to Oakland this weekend. And we're going to be watching a lot of baseball here and getting ready for the off-season turmoil that will be the Orioles. The last place Orioles. I'm going to be calling them that all off-season, even though I'm massing they're going to call them the fifth place Baltimore Orioles. The morning newspaper appears each and every morning in your email inbox digitally. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life, guaranteed. Don't forget, as well, any breaking news, you'll want to be on our WNST text service. That's the best service we have around here. It is completely spam-free and always brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard, which reminds me that on Thursday, Dennis Colatzos will be here from 3 until 5, never taking a knee, but always discussing the Ravens and the grand game of football. We also got baseball playoffs happening this weekend. Dennis is here 3 until 5. On Thursdays, it is the SSV on WNST. I am out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.